following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
To the Adventure and Puntland on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipe Man.
Yo, here I am. It's Monday. It's right before I go on tour again for the Pipe Man radio tour. We're going to have incarceration coming up this weekend, so the Pipe Man is going to prison, and I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited to go visit Shawshank Prison again. I'm like a repeat offender, okay? And then tonight, the Pipe Man's going to be at the I Think Financial Theater. We're going to be covering a show there. Chicago and Styx is playing. It's going to be so cool. Little pipe info. First song I ever played on the guitar was 25 or 64 by Chicago. First song I ever learned. Most people would Smoke on the Water. That was mine. Okay. And we're going to talk a lot today with the pet health guru as usual. Of course, I'm an idiot. I didn't turn the sound off of my phone. I thought about it, and then that thought just left my head. So we had to be here on the Adventures of Pipe Man, Positively Pipe Man, because this is the segment where we talk about pet health, business, motivation, all the serious stuff. The other Pipe Man, he gets subdued a little here. But we are going to be talking today about what is a service dog. I'm so excited about this topic because I have a lot to say when it comes to that here in South Florida. And we're going to find out what the pet health guru has to say. So let's bring the pet health guru on. And by the way, you're going to want to stick around because after the pet health guru, bring him on, Juan. After the pet health guru, then we are going to run a commercial for one of the festivals. I won't tell you which one. It rhymes with Loch Lahomie or Homa. and if you go to Hype Man Radio on all socials, we're doing ticket giveaways for that festival, and frickin' Slayer is headlining. I mean, you can't miss it. It could be the last time Slayer ever plays ever, and I'm not sure if you can bring service dogs there, but let's first define what is a service dog, pet health guru.
Well, thanks, Dean, for having me on. We've been doing a little bit of research into this. Of course, I've talked about it for literally decades. Service animals are supposedly working dogs that are performing a very, very specific task. And, things like, watching owners, for signs of diabetic crashes or, blind, seeing eye dogs. Things of that nature for medical emergencies. Unfortunately, in probably the last 2 decades, everybody has a service dog, just like everybody has a rescue dog today. And it's, we call it a service dog because we want special favors from different businesses, whether it's the airline, whether it's restaurants, going into supermarkets, department stores, generally where dogs would normally not be allowed. And, and the problem on the backside of that is there's no regulatory body that monitors it at all. It was put into the Americans with Disability Act that certain animals should be allowed, but there's no definition beyond that. And so it's like crazy time out there with this stuff. Everybody's got an emotional support dog. Well, what's an emotional support dog? Oh, I love puppies.
Oh, well, here's the thing too. I've seen support of like pretty much every ridiculous animal. A support fox.
Yes.
There was
Okay.
this one person that went viral because they went on an airplane with their emotional support peacock.
Oh my God. And they allowed it?
Yeah.
They
So-
basically under ADA, you have to, if they claim it, and there's no way of proving that it has any validity at all.
Don't
So-
you have to have like these qualifications to meet a service animal? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Juan.
I was just gonna ask. There was this one time I saw this lady at Walmart with her service python, I guess you can call it.
See,
what kind of service
I
does a
would have
python
thought
serve?
I would have thought in that scenario, it would have been their emotional support switch. Because I see that stuff going on a lot at Walmart. Okay.
Yeah.
Except the
that
Jupiter
would be
one.
like towards closing time at Walmart.
Except the Jupiter one for some reason. Jupiter one is like different than any other Walmart in the United States. But the one here in Lake Park, oh my God, like you have to ask for somebody that works at Walmart. You don't need anybody that works at Walmart to ring out your stuff, but you do need to ask so you can get hair dye. Because apparently that's a big thing to shoplift.
No, as you started to ask, Dean, there is no real guideline on specifications. It used to be a few organizations that did it. You had to do some sort of certification, you had to do some sort of trainings and show that you did the trainings. But that just all disappeared. You can go on to eBay and buy a service animal vest or collar. You don't have to prove anything. You just put it on, and you can't even be questioned at that point in time.
Well,
And the problem with a lot of these dogs is they're not trained. They're not even good, obedient dogs. They're not well acclimated. So they're actually little terrors sometimes, or big terrors.
yeah, especially when you see a Chihuahua that's an emotional support dog. I don't know that a Chihuahua would give me anxiety, and I don't get anxiety. Okay,
I
but
once saw a pug wearing a one of those vests. It was like a tactical vest too.
I could see that though, because I had a pug as we've talked about in this show, and that pug was the best dog ever. Okay, like as far as everything goes, except the shedding. That was the part that sucked. And
But can
the
they be
snore-
trained?
Oh yeah, listen. I used to go sometimes away for the weekend, and I would tell my son, stop by the house twice a day and and just let April out in the backyard, and that's all you need to do. And like I could be gone for like 12, 16 hours, and she would not go to the bathroom anywhere in the house. And we never had her on a leash ever. She listened all the time. There's only one scenario that she never really listened at until after she would do it. And that was when she would run as fast as she could and right towards the wheel of a driving car, a car that was in motion. And like her nose, we would go like this, oh my God, because her nose would be like a millimeter away, and then she'd like stop dead in her tracks. And I used to freak us out. But other than that, no, she like I could let her out in the backyard. She'd do her thing, come back in. She never did anything wrong. Like it was unbelievable. I didn't even want this dog at first, and now I swear by him. The snorting, but the shedding's the worst actually with them. But
She was
here's
better
what-
than a service animal. I've seen some service animals like poop inside the store.
oh yeah, no, she never did that ever. Pee or poop anywhere, no matter. Like she did it in the right place, and maybe that's thanks to the Pet Health Guru here, because we were on the Pet Health Guru magical, pet diet.
Yeah, it's one of the things. I actually on the Pet Health Cafe, our podcast, on YouTube and Spotify and all these nice programs, had a service dog owner that has a Malinois that is fantastic. I mean, the dog goes everywhere, no lead, doesn't need a collar, and basically just phenomenal. And it's a true service dog, and he talks about it all the time. That most of these, because there's no registration, there's anything else, that you have to know what you're doing. You can't just put the phrase out there. And of course, those dogs are going to be potty trained better. They're going to be fed better, because part of the problems that we have with behavior, of course, is drugs, and bad food and things like that, just like with our kids. But the whole thing is with these so-called service dogs, they have to literally be performing a task. Emotional support, well, actually, those studies were done back in the 1970s, University of Pennsylvania, with a canine human bond. We're bonded to our animals. So if you've got a good dog, it's already supporting your
It's kind of the point of having a pet.
Yeah, exactly. They're already performing that, but they don't have to be with you 24/7. This is the thing that, I talked about it on my show.
They do nowadays, because,
Oh, yeah.
the younger generation, they have anxiety 24/7. So it is a requirement for them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when I started in the industry, the dogs were still pretty much relegated to the backyard and the garage. On a cold winter night, they might be allowed in the house, but basically, we didn't have them with us 24/7, and we didn't have the behavioral problems because, of course, we were feeding real food back then, and weren't vaccinating and doing crazy things with flea preventions and heartworms and all of that. So it wasn't a problem. And then I watched the dogs. Okay, all of a sudden now we're in the house most of the time. And then it's okay. Yes, they can sleep in our room, and then it can sleep in bed with us. And then we have to take it to work. Now we have to take it when we go shopping, and that whole thing. And of course, as the industry grew with that, the industry kind of fostered that as well, because now we have fancier collars, leads, harnesses. We're dressing up our dogs, hats and dresses, and all this stuff. And we've kind of lost touch with the dogs showing their dogness, if you will, being the natural self. And a lot of this, because that creates, we're saying is an emotional support dog, or it's just a support dog in general. We're actually putting pressure on that animal to do behaviors that they normally would not do.
Yeah.
And, some dogs, bomb detection dogs and things like that, they're trained in that field. How do you train in emotional support?
So I have a couple questions. One is, isn't it like on planes? You can't bring in emotional support. It has to be an actual service dog. So what's the difference between a service dog that does get a certification and an emotional service dog?
There is none. All you have to do is declare it, and they have to allow.
Now, see, my brother, he won't travel because he can't bring his Labradoodle on the plane with him. It has to go in the cargo area, and they require all kinds of paperwork if he's going to declare it as a service dog.
That's the airlines making that decision, but there really isn't. I mean, if you start complaining in ADA, now some airlines will put size restrictions just like they do on luggage.
Yeah.
But if you want to buy a ticket for your dog, and generally, and you proclaim service dog status, and that you have a disability, and you don't have to prove your disability either, a lot of them will honor that.
Does mentally disabled count? Because I'm sure he could qualify for that. I'm just kidding. That's just a little sibling fun.
There are no restrictions on what kind of animals, emotional support animals you can take with you. How many guppies can I take?
That's what I was going to say. I can see you wheeling down the aisle with your little carry-on. That's an actual aquarium, and you need the guppies there with you.
Wait. I can't bring a bottle of water through security, but he can bring his guppy.
When you stop and
Absolutely.
think about it as well, I mean, people put aquariums in their home because it is peaceful, it's calming. That actually is basically an emotional support living thing where our dogs are not, how can it be, how can we claim that they're an emotional support dog for us when all we're doing is catering to them, cleaning up, feeding, babying them? It's like you're spending all your attention on the dog. You're actually the dog's emotional support.
Well, I have another question. Okay. So, like I've been seeing everywhere, Publix has made a big deal about this, and Publix only allows trained service dogs. And by the way, not just service dogs, miniature horses too. I guess that's what goes on in Wellington. Like you can bring your miniature horse.
Yes.
Okay, but it's a trained service miniature horse. But pets and emotional support animals are strictly prohibited per FDA guidelines. So that tells me there are some guidelines somewhere.
Well, animals in food areas and things like that, there are guidelines, but the ADA says this is an exceptional animal and you have to allow it.
But they won't allow emotional support. So how does Publix know whether you have a emotional support dog or a trained service dog?
It depends on what comes out of your mouth. If you declare that it is a service dog, that you have a disability, there's no way around it. If you're claiming it's an emotional support dog, there's some discretion there in the business owner's favor. But still, it just depends on how, you never know which customer is going to be the next one to sue you. You turn them down for your support dog, you tell them they can't bring it in, and next thing they're claiming that they slipped on the floor and threw out their back, and now you got a lawsuit going on.
Yeah, what about the customer that slipped on your pee from your emotional support animal in the grocery store? They could sue too.
That's the store's problem, believe it or not. The store is who gets sued, not the person that did it.
Exactly. That is the problem right there. So what do they care? They have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel too, okay, like I love dogs. I don't really necessarily have anything against a dog being in the grocery store, but I do think about the people that are allergic to dogs. Like, why should they be exposed to that to go to the grocery store because you can't leave your dog at home? Okay. Yeah. Stuff like that. Or, you don't see cat people bringing their cats usually. And thank God, because I'm allergic. So that would bother me. But
I think allergies would be the least of your problems if cats were to enter the store.
No, I'm telling you. But
those things are vicious.
But the thing is that, so you have these rules for dogs, but people just have common sense and don't bring their cats. And I'm a dog lover. I've had dogs all my life. I do not believe in the people that need to bring their dog everywhere. It's not a human. It's not your kid. Okay. My mother was one of those too. Like her daughters could do no wrong. Her sons were pieces of shit, but her daughters she was referring to were dogs. Okay. and she's like, I don't know what I do because my daughters are the ones that take care of me. Okay, yeah, I see them up there cooking you a meal and stuff like that. Yes. And there's so many people like that. Even my second ex-wife thing too. Okay, I got her a dog, and all of a sudden everywhere we had to go, and I hate it. But just like with my brother, anytime we go out to dinner, it has to be, can we go? And can we sit outside? Like we got to sit out in the frickin' sterile ward while there's all kinds of stuff going on inside so he could bring his dog. Why can't the dog stay home for an hour? Okay. I don't get that whole thing. And they people like that make a big deal. It's like, oh my God, my dog will freak out if I'm gone for an hour. Well, then you did something wrong, because I don't think dogs are born that way.
No, they're not. That's diet has a lot to do with it. Like I said, drugs have a lot to do with it because it throws the body off. A lot of them are, like I said, the person is a support for the animal because they've got all kinds of anxieties and all kinds of stressors. And I can't leave it at home, not because I need the support when I'm out, but the dog's going to destroy my house.
Yeah.
You know? So I have to have it with me.
Yeah. And I don't think it's fair to other people.
No, it's
Sometimes
not.
it's not even fair to have your kids around other people.
Yeah. And there's another part to that we find very interesting too, is if you do have a legitimate service dog, okay, and you're using it for what it's supposed to be, and you walk into the store, you walk through the mall, whatever it happens to be, everybody wants to come up. Can I pet your dog? No, absolutely not, because he's working. He's on the job.
Exactly. Well, there's another point. If you're allowing the person to pet your animal, it's not a service dog.
No, because he can't focus. If your dog you got high blood pressure, and your dog can detect it, you've got a trained service dog for that. If he breaks his concentration or she breaks their concentration on you, you could have a stroke.
Yeah. Exactly. So how do I know if my dog is even really qualified?
There are a few organizations out there. I'm not familiar with them like I used to be, but that will provide training and some guidance and guidelines for their particular programs. But just like you go online today, I've been doing nutrition. You've known me for over 20 years. I've been doing it. I can go online now, and in a 6-week course, I can be a certified pet nutritionist or a naturopath, or I can buy a certificate anywhere.
I can go check myself into a hospital and get a certification in 72 hours.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you're right. Like you can pretty much, and nowadays too, you can pretty much get anything. Like back before all these other generations and technology, like there were actual real experts. Like everybody fancies themselves as an expert now. And like if you don't have certifications or diplomas or training or education, formal education, not watching a YouTube video or a multitude of other things, like you're not an expert. Because you have an opinion doesn't make you an expert. And
Right.
because you're a dog doesn't make you an expert service dog either.
Yeah. Well,
In a world of
on the expert thing, on the expert part of that, there's a lot of PhDs that have no idea what they're even talking about. They're talking theory and things like that. Basically your knowledge comes from your experience.
And to that point, as somebody that has had a lot of formal education, but also a lot of life and business experience, I did both formal education before it and after it. And I found that even the other students, because of that experience in business, marketing, and stuff like that, we were able to say, no, that's not really how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go to school, you go to college, and I'm a firm believer in college. I'm a firm believer in a formal education. However, it's not the be all end all, because just because you did that formal education does not make you qualified.
Yes.
It makes you qualified on paper. Now go out in real life with real life scenarios, because real life scenarios don't go by the book.
No.
Can
No,
I get a certification for an emotional support employee that I could bring to the grocery store with me? Do they allow that at Publix?
I mean, let's face it. All of us have a little bit of insanity in us. So I guess any animal that will put up with us has to be an emotional service dog.
Yeah, well, listen, there, and especially here in South Florida, I think we are the training center for insanity.
I have a tendency to agree with you. And neither one of us were born down here.
Exactly. And, it is funny because out in Wellington, I'm not out there anymore, but, everybody did bring their dogs everywhere. But that's because they were equestrian people. So it was part of their whole lifestyle. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to get hate for this, but the whole thing of carrying your purse and your dog in your purse, okay, I don't think that's very fair to a dog. I don't want to be put in a purse, even if I was that big, or that small. What about you? What about you, Juan?
Oh, my fish don't have a say. They
So
get put wherever they get put.
They go in the purse. They go in the purse.
The thing is, like, if that was something that people did, like go out with your fish pets as emotional support fish, they wouldn't poop anywhere. They wouldn't make noise. Like, I've been to movie theaters where like there's a barking dog inside.
Yep.
That's like not the time or place to take your dog. Like, stay home, watch a movie on Netflix.
Yeah.
You're so right. Hey, Pet Health Guru, how can we make dogs no longer service dogs and just make them all fish?
Yeah, I would even go for a reptile. Like, if you take your pet iguana to the theater, that would make less noise than the dog.
Yeah. Well, too, I mean, certain dogs, cats, and other animals will have that same issue with intimidating people. I mean, some people are afraid of dogs. Some it depends. It can be breed specific, for instance, which doesn't necessarily make that dog bad, but people have fear of especially big dogs, Rottweilers, bull mastiffs. They got to be, they're attack dogs in their mind.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm one that I could say that because I wasn't always like that. But I was 10 years old walking my Bichon, and a pit bull came and ate it while I had it on the leash.
Yeah.
So I do get intimidated by pit bulls when I see them. Now, that doesn't mean I don't know people with pit bulls, that some of them are nice dogs and like I will hang out. But even my brother had a pit bull once and I got along with great, except when I would walk in the house at night because it didn't know who I was.
Yes.
And so to me, that's kind of a danger in a public scenario because, a dog like that, they're known for, even though everybody praises them and, I've seen lots of great ones, they're known for snapping. They're known for turning on their owners, especially if there's a baby, because they treat the baby like it's their baby. I know people that had a pit bull and they weren't even allowed near their baby once they had the baby because the pit bull became the protector.
Well, that's why I said too. I mean, the thing is the training's got to be specific, and you have to start, of course, with the basics. Basic obedience, and the temperament of the dog has a lot to do with it if it's a service dog. And then they need to be going through advanced training for whatever the problem is. And we don't basically people do not select dogs anymore based on function. You see people with border collies that live in a 1-bedroom apartment. That dog's got to run 20 miles a day, that sort of thing. And then you get the people like with a Great Dane or a Saint Bernard, and they think they have to have 5 acres of land so that the dog can run around. Those dogs don't run at all.
No.
So it's like there's not only isn't there any guidelines, in many cases, there's no common sense either.
Now, I grew up around pit bulls, so I don't fully agree with Dean here, but I think statistically
it's not even a
speaking,
matter of agreeing. It's just, it's like what he was saying.
It's just because the danger is higher, but statistically speaking, you're more likely to get attacked by a Chihuahua than you are by a pit bull.
Oh, I'm not a fan of Chihuahuas either. Let me tell you, but at least a Chihuahua, I hate to say it, you could drop kick it if it's about to kill you.
If it bites you on the ankle, just do a
if
high kick, it'll fly away.
If a pit bull's going to attack you, there's not really much you're going to do to stop it.
Once they clench, there's no getting out of
That's
that.
my point. Like, the whole point is why I have the fear of dogs like that is not because of the breed. It's because of A, my trauma of what I experienced, but also B, knowing that I wouldn't be able to stop it. Like you know, if a Chihuahua or even a Schnauzer, they're known as like sometimes vicious. Okay. You know, at least you know you could stop it no matter what. Like I was joking before, but in all seriousness, you could like hold the Schnauzer back and stop it from doing anything. You're not holding back any pit bull or Rottweiler or Mastiff.
No, I mean that was true also when I worked with some of the wildlife and stuff like that. And I was working, you know, I'd have to go into a cage with a tiger. You know, as long as they're well cared for and that sort of thing. But the danger was there just because of their sheer size. I mean, you know, if you ever had a cat or a kitten, you know, they love to play. Well, we had a 9-month-old tiger that wanted to play like a kitten. And of course, the canine teeth were like 3 inches long and the claws were there. But you know how cats play, they don't have to be, they're roughhousing, but not aggressive and, you know, killers. So you know, you have a certain amount of respect for the size of the animal, the temperament of the animal. And, you know, with so many dogs today being mutts, basically all these so-called designer dogs, there's no guarantee in temperament where when you used to buy purebred dogs from breeders,
science.
What was supposed to happen.
Yeah, it's mad science. You can't predict what's going to happen.
Yes.
It's not nature. All right, so why don't you tell everybody how they can reach out to you, how they can, you know, check out your podcast, check out your store, check out all your healthy tidbits, all those great things.
All the great things, yes. Well, first off, my podcast on these fine stations, Pet Health Cafe. We're on live every Thursday night at 8:00. Reruns 24/7 all around the world on a ton of other stations. Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and PetHealthCafe.com. Our retail store is My Paleo Pet. It's located in Pompano Beach, Florida, where we have all the good foods, herbs, all the natural health products, not only for your pet, but also for yourself. We have a farm-to-table program so that you can source your good, clean foods. Also, we help out with rescues. You know, we're moving into another phase where we're doing events at the store as well. MyPaleoPet.com, of course, for ordering online 24/7. And we get the stuff shipped out to you right away. So stop by and see us. I do consultations as well for nutrition for both pets and people, because it's basically the same. If you want to be a good pet parent, you should not need an emotional support animal because you're both healthy. And so let us help you with that program too.
Well, as always, you're a wealth of information. We'll have you every week because you're a wealth of information, not only for pets, but for humans as well. And you are the walking encyclopedia of pet health guru. Thanks for being here. Everybody stick around for a few seconds because we're going to play a commercial, and then the social media DMs are open. You can DM me at Pipe Man Radio if you want to win tickets to one of the best camping rock festivals in the United States of America, in the middle of the greatest Dust Bowl of the United States of America. But no, seriously, it is a cool festival. You're going to want to join the Pipe Man there. So Juan's going to let you know a little bit about that festival, and then we'll see you next time here on the Adventures of Pipe Man, W4CY Radio.
It's here, Rocklahoma, celebrating its 20th anniversary, and for the first time ever, Slayer, and the return of Godsmack, and Papa Roach. Rocklahoma is back Labor Day weekend, September 4th through 6th, with Slayer, celebrating the 40th anniversary of Rain and Blood, Godsmack, Papa Roach, also Stone Temple Pilots, The Pretty Reckless, Black Label Society, Jet, Wolfmother, Hollywood Undead, Dropkick Murphys, and Cypress Hill. Rocklahoma 2026, 20 years. Slayer, Godsmack, Papa Roach, Stone Temple Pilots, Cypress Hill, and so many more. Labor Day weekend, September 4th through 6th in Pryor, Oklahoma. Go to www.rocklahoma.com for all ticket and festival information. Don't miss Labor Day weekend's #1 rock and roll party, Rocklahoma.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.